I mean a mothership that instead of slowing down and actually visiting planets or going near them, it actually releases probes.
NASA just activated an emergency planetary defense alert, but not for an asteroid, not for a threat, and not for anything humanity has ever seen before. Something out there is behaving like it's alive, and it's now hidden behind the sun. For the first time in history, an interstellar object has forced NASA to initiate planetary defense measures while claiming there's no danger to Earth. That contradiction alone has sent shockwaves through the global scientific community. Because if this object isn't dangerous, then what exactly made NASA panic? For weeks, telescopes have recorded bizarre energy bursts near the sun, pulses so precise they look like coded transmission. And now, multiple space agencies have gone silent. The European Space Agency has locked away hundreds of images, with 2 of them classified until the year 2099. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb says its motion defies every known law of celestial mechanics. Something about this object feels controlled, intelligent, directed. What NASA saw changed everything, and tonight we're breaking it all down, piece by piece. Because once you hear this, you'll understand why the world's most powerful space agencies are terrified behind closed doors. When NASA's Planetary Defense Coordination Office issues an alert, it usually means one thing: impact risk. But this time there was none. The object known as 3I Atlas wasn't on a collision course. It wasn't even heading near Earth. Yet the system designed to protect our planet from cosmic threats suddenly went active. Astronomers couldn't explain why. NASA refused to elaborate, and within hours, encrypted memos were circulating across multiple observatories warning staff not to speak to the media. Something about this activation wasn't procedural, it was emotional, it was fear-driven. Scientists began asking, what could possibly make NASA activate emergency protocols if nothing was at risk? The answer, according to internal leaks, was unknown energetic potential. In other words, they didn't know what it was capable of. Radar data showed erratic bursts of energy emanating from the object, followed by abrupt shifts in trajectory, too deliberate, too patterned. The phrase controlled deceleration began appearing in NASA's internal reports. Whatever 3I Atlas was, it wasn't behaving like a rock drifting through space. It was responding to something, and that's when the real panic began. From the moment 3I Atlas entered the inner solar system, astronomers noticed a strange rhythm in its motion, a kind of mechanical precision. It didn't tumble or drift like a natural body. Instead, it pivoted and accelerated in bursts, almost as if it was adjusting its path with intent. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb publicly stated that the probability of this being natural behavior was less than 1 in 800 million. For context, that's rarer than winning the lottery multiple times in a row. But what really raised eyebrows was that these bursts occurred in perfect synchronization with solar radiation spikes, as if 3I Atlas was reacting to the sun itself. NASA's own deep space sensors picked up thermal signatures inconsistent with ice, dust, or gas. Instead, they detected localized heating zones, like engines igniting and cooling in cycles. Amateur astronomers later confirmed faint flares, visible even from backyard telescopes. The data didn't match any known cometary behavior, and yet, rather than sharing this anomaly, NASA quietly reclassified 3I Atlas from a cometary body to an unknown interstellar entity. The term sent chills through the scientific community, because that's the same phrasing once used in the classified 2017 Oumuamua reports, the first suspected artificial interstellar object. This wasn't a coincidence anymore. This was a pattern. Just days after those findings surfaced, something even stranger happened. The data vanished. The European Space Agency, which had been tracking 3I Atlas using the Gaia Observatory, suddenly locked away 488 images under a new classification: restricted deep space anomalies. Among them, 2 images were labeled top secret until 2099. The public database went blank overnight. Scientists who had downloaded the preliminary datasets found themselves under non-disclosure orders by the next morning. ESA called it a data integrity issue, but no one bought that excuse. Astronomical data isn't classified unless there's something in those photos that humanity isn't ready to see. According to leaks from within the European Southern Observatory, those hidden frames contained something unprecedented, a luminous halo forming geometrically around the object, perfect symmetry, like hexagonal wings of energy expanding outward. This pattern pulsed in sync with solar flares, almost as if it was harvesting energy from them. One insider claimed that a portion of the data revealed a reflective, structured surface, not ice, not dust, but metal. Within 48 hours of that revelation, ESA blacked out all public channels referencing 3I Atlas. Every amateur image thread was scrubbed. Silence fell across the space community, and that silence spoke volumes. On October 12th, as 3I Atlas passed near Mars' orbital plane, something extraordinary occurred. Every active probe around Mars, including NASA's MAVEN and China's Tianwen-1, recorded sudden electromagnetic disturbances. The reading spiked so sharply that Mission Control initially thought it was solar interference. But this was different. The frequency pulses were localized, following the object as it passed by. Mars' upper atmosphere even showed faint auroral streaks hours later, with no solar flare in sight. Whatever 3I Atlas was, it wasn't just reflecting sunlight. It was interacting with electromagnetic fields. Thermal sensors then picked up rapid temperature fluctuations on the object's surface, like internal systems activating. Some researchers described it as engine cycling. For a brief moment, MAVEN detected a signature consistent with an ionized trail, similar to plasma exhaust. That single reading was enough to make every mission command tighten security. By dawn, communication logs went encrypted. All agencies monitoring the object went dark. For the first time in years, global space tracking networks shared a total information blackout. It was as if every government watching 3I Atlas had seen something they couldn't explain or couldn't allow the public to see. Then came the signal. On October 14th, China's Tianwen-1 orbiter detected a narrowband transmission between 420 and 450 megahertz, the exact range associated with the hydrogen line used by astronomers to search for extraterrestrial communication. The source, the vicinity of 3I Atlas. The transmission lasted 11 minutes, then stopped abruptly. But the strangest part, the signal wasn't random. It pulsed in repeating intervals, forming a pattern that resembled a mathematical prime sequence. It was organized, deliberate, and intelligent. Within hours of the detection, the data disappeared from Chinese scientific servers. Independent radio astronomers in Argentina later confirmed brief echoes of the same frequency band, but reported strange interference just as the signal intensified. Soon after, all references to the transmission were deleted from social media and science forums. It was as if the internet itself had been scrubbed. NASA denied any knowledge of it. China offered no comment, but one senior radio engineer, speaking anonymously, said the signal's power modulation looked artificial, like something trying to communicate through radiation noise. That statement alone sent chills through every major observatory, because if the signal was real, then someone or something near 3I Atlas was transmitting. What followed next was nothing short of a coordinated cover-up. NASA stopped releasing public telemetry data. The European Space Agency denied all media requests about 3I Atlas. Avi Loeb's interviews with Scientific American were suddenly pulled without explanation. Even the SETI Institute, which had begun investigating the signals, quietly halted its involvement. Freedom of Information Act requests were filed by journalists, all denied. The reason given: national security. Since when did astronomy fall under national security? The only time that happens is when the discovery threatens global stability or exposes something governments aren't ready to admit. Insiders whispered that the United Nations Office for Outer Space Affairs had invoked early-stage, first contact coordination protocols. It sounded like conspiracy fiction until multiple international observatories began receiving identical legal notices ordering cessation of unsanctioned data dissemination. Amateur astronomers trying to post new 3I Atlas footage found their accounts flagged or removed. Even discussion boards began deleting threads. It was as if a digital curtain had fallen over the entire event. And behind that curtain, a secret was being tightly held. The question wasn't what they were hiding anymore, but why they were hiding it now. While governments silenced discussion, scientists who had already accessed early datasets began connecting dots. Spectral analysis of 3I Atlas revealed abnormal metallic ratios, including alloys not naturally found in cometary composition. Infrared imaging suggested right-angled surface contours, unlike any random rock. One astronomer described it as mechanical in geometry, like panels. When data from NASA's NEOWISE satellite leaked, it hinted at high reflectivity consistent with polished composite materials. That's not dust. That's construction. Some researchers privately speculated that 3I Atlas might be an artifact, a probe, or even a derelict craft. And yet, despite the mounting evidence, mainstream institutions doubled down on silence. Scientists were warned not to use terms like artificial or engineer. Words were replaced with anomalous reflectivity, but the truth had already slipped out. Independent analysis confirmed the object's thermal fluctuations and perfect geometric emission pulses. These aren't accidents of nature, they're the fingerprints of intent. And if that's the case, then someone somewhere designed this thing. Whether it's an ancient relic, a beacon, or a living craft, 3I Atlas might be the first undeniable proof that intelligence exists beyond Earth. Now the world is holding its breath. In just days, on October 29th, 3I Atlas will reach its closest point to the Sun, a moment scientists call perihelion. That's when the object's activity is expected to peak. Some astronomers predict a massive energy flare. Others warn it may vanish completely, slipping back into deep space forever. But a growing number believe it will activate, using the sun's energy as fuel. If that happens, we may witness a display unlike anything in human history. Every observatory, every telescope, every satellite will be watching, unless they're told not to. Online communities are already counting down. Some believe we're about to see history, the first contact moment hidden in plain sight. Others fear we're walking into something far bigger, something humanity isn't prepared to understand. Because if 3I Atlas is what the data suggests, then it didn't just pass through our solar system by chance. It came here for a reason, and whatever that reason is, we're about to find out. NASA's emergency alert wasn't about fear of destruction. It was about fear of revelation. 3I Atlas isn't just another rock drifting through space. It's a mirror reflecting the limits of human understanding, forcing us to question everything we thought we knew about life in the universe. The secrecy, the data wipes, the locked images until 2099, they all point to one chilling truth. Something extraordinary is happening, and it's being carefully managed. As the countdown to perihelion ticks closer, we stand at the edge of the unknown. Will 3I Atlas ignite and reveal its purpose? Or will it disappear into cosmic silence, taking its secrets with it? In 8 days, we might witness the proof that we were never alone, or the greatest cover-up in modern history. Until then, all we can do is watch and wait.